Joining me now on this episode of Locally Sourced CP is El Paso's favorite professional baseball player, Mr. Cody Decker. Sir, thank you for joining us today, man.
I appreciate that introduction, but I can't possibly be the favorite. There's got to be some more favorites out there. I got I think Austin Hedges is well liked here.
Mhm.
Hunter Renfroe is well liked here. Rocky Gale is another guy that immediately comes to mind, but none of them hold a candle to this jawline. You just can't beat it.
You can't.
Yeah.
It's like I'm kind of name dropping having you on the show today, man.
It's a huge deal in extraordinarily small circles.
No, well, we are. I just like I'm still at all that you're joining us today, and just very grateful to have you on. But we're here to talk about the facility you have going on here in El Paso.
Mhm.
Go ahead and talk a little bit about what you got going on.
Well, I retired about a year and a half ago when I was with the Diamondbacks organization. I was in AAA for the Reno Aces, and I had a couple of opportunities in front of me that I didn't want to pass up. One of which was here in El Paso because I played here in 14 and 15, and I just fell in love with the city. It's a beautiful city. I always tell people about it. Like one of my best friends texted me the other day, and he's thinking about moving here because I brought him here. I talked about it for months and months and months
Yeah.
until he finally decided to come out and visit me, and he fell in love with the place too. And he's talking about moving here. It's just what we have going on here. I joined the El Paso Border Youth Athletic Association as an associate executive director, and the whole purpose of the organization is get as many kids, young student athletes, into college through baseball and softball. Because there are a lot of college opportunities that are out there for baseball and softball. I mean, there are over 200 D1 programs. There's D2 programs, D3 programs, NAIA programs. There's junior college. There are so many places for these young student athletes to continue their baseball journey and to get their education. And the one thing I've been harping a lot on these kids is, we got to find the school first for you. It's important because baseball ends for everybody. One day the jersey comes off your back, but that diploma goes on. And the reason it was started 20 years ago is because the graduation in college, the rate of graduation for college in El Paso was really low. And the amount of players that were leaving El Paso to continue their baseball journey was also staggeringly low. So I kind of came in and wanted to add and update the programming. I kind of felt like the programming, baseball programming in El Paso was very much stuck in the dark ages, like 20 years behind. So I had my friends from Beimel Elite Athletics, Brent Dean and Joe Beimel, join me out here at the base, our facility over right off of Airway. Really, how they've affected all of our programming over at the base and the BYAA has been really staggering. Players are making astronomical leaps physically. We have a player who is a senior, and when you're a senior and he's a slightly undersized guy, but he's all heart, and can't say enough great things about this kid. And I love working with him, but he was very stuck at a certain level, and he joined their program, and he's in our college prep programs. He never threw above 63 miles per hour. 1 month and a half later, working the program, he's throwing 77. He's a senior, and there might be a chance for him to continue playing next year after high school, and maybe he can play in college and go somewhere and help continue his education and continue his baseball journey. It's really exciting to see the opportunities that we're putting in front of people that they didn't really have before. And I try to tell people all the time, forget about the draft, forget about professional baseball. You want to play college baseball, trust
Yeah.
me.
That's cool. That's so great. I mean, I follow you. I follow your facility on all the social media sites just to see the progress these kids make, and also the technology you guys have there. I seen that technology you have for it basically scores where you hit. Can you talk a little bit about that? The technology you have there at the
Oh
facility?
yeah. Well, for the pitchers, we use a piece of technology called a Rapsodo. It is it takes your velocity, your spin rate, your spin efficiency. It basically catalogs everything you have per pitch. It's an incredible piece of equipment, and all of our pitchers are being run off that. And of course, we have our Hit Tracks machine, which is what we use for live at bats. We also hit off the machine with it. It's basically a golf simulator, but for baseball.
Oh,
Gives you a full field. We did a indoor summer league with it this last summer. It was great because all the summer leagues, of course, are canceled due to COVID. So we ran a summer league in the facility because it simulates a live game. And it was an incredible success. And I'm hoping that we're going to put together a winter one as well because, of course, all the leagues still shut down. The amount of technology we brought with us doesn't exist here. So it was a real opportunity to open some eyes to show people where they're actually at and really catalog and show them their improvement. It's one thing to use your eyes and be like, oh yeah, that guy's gotten better. But if I can literally show you based on radar
Mhm.
how much better you have actually gotten, how much stronger you have physically gotten because you've been lifting and doing the weightlifting program, because you're doing this, because you're in college prep, and now the miles per hour off your bat has gone up 4 miles in the last 2 months because you've gotten that much stronger and that much more efficient. It's really fun to show them, and the excitement that the young student athlete sees
Mhm.
of their growth is really, it kind of takes you back to why you do it.
Yeah, it's so awesome just to see like when you guys have like the outfielders or any of the infielders just basically like simulating a grounder or fly and then just throwing into the net to the target. You see how fast they throw,
Mhm.
and it's just incredible what you guys are doing out there. I know you guys are doing a lot for the baseball community here, but you also do softball there as well.
That's right. We have our college prep softball set up. It's amazing. We have some great coaches, a few former UTEP players. It's we're looking to grow the softball side the way we have grown the baseball side this last year, and the baseball side right now is going great. I'm really, really proud of the work we're doing, and now it's really time to get to work on softball because I feel like, you know, to be to have the opportunity to learn from softball players who have played at the absolute pinnacle of their sport. In my opinion, the college athletics for softball is probably the pinnacle. There is professional league, but it's not heralded quite as much as either the Olympics or, of course, softball.
Mhm.
To have players that have been to that pinnacle, that have worked and grinded their way to get to that spot, to learn from them you can't really measure it. So I'm really excited for what we're about to do with softball, especially as well. Possibly putting together another league. As we did a summer league with them, it didn't go as crazy as our baseball one did, but I think there's an incredible opportunity to build so many softball players, and we have very excited young student athletes on our softball side that have a chance to continue playing softball to the next level, and we want to give them every opportunity possible to get that.
Yeah, the amount of amount of work that they do as well. I mean, it's almost as equal because I mean you see so many posts that you guys done. Not just see you guys aren't just one sided. You guys just post nothing but baseball. You guys post the baseball and the softball, showing off both sports, which is awesome. I mean I know with all the little ones you get and all the high schoolers and college guys, and gotta of course take it to that COVID-19 pandemic going on. What are some of the things you guys are doing there to keep everyone, yourselves and also the kiddos safe?
Well, several things. One, we have a capacity limit that we make sure we adhere by. We make sure we schedule out our appointments very carefully. Masks are required, plain and simple. Everyone wears a mask. There are hand sanitizing stations just about everywhere, all over the place. I honestly have come to the point where I don't go anywhere without hand sanitizer in my pocket.
Mhm.
It's becoming kind of a thing for me, almost like a tick. If I feel like I've gone 30 seconds without washing my hands, I immediately do it again.
Right.
Which honestly, I'm probably overdoing it, but I'd rather it be that way than the opposite. We are taking very strict precautions. We make sure that all our coaches wear their masks. We make sure we adhere to social distancing. Parents, we always ask them if they can stay in their cars. There's no reason to be in the facility unless you need to. When a coach is working with a player, making sure they're keeping their social distance, because I can show a guy plenty in the batter's box while staying 5, 10, 15 feet away from them.
Mhm.
As long as they can hear me and we carry out a dialogue. But I think it's very important we adhere to these things because anything we can do to help the community in slowing the spread of this virus is extremely important. This has thrown a wrench into everyone's life, and it's just important for us to do our part, even as small as it is. Every little step, I think, helps. And the fact that we're still able to put activity out there while remaining safe and adhering to every guideline possible and taking some extra steps on our own. We want to make sure these kids are still staying as active as they can in a world that is fairly shut down.
Yeah, and that's great that you guys are taking the precaution, because I know it's hard, especially hard times right now for a lot of businesses with this going on, and that's just something great that you guys are able to stay open and keep it safe and things like that. Um, I'm just, we've touched on a lot of stuff, especially about the business and everything. The one question I have for you: what is your overall goal for the base? What do you want? What do you want everyone to know about what you guys want to have for the baseball and softball community? What do you want to push?
My end goal in all of this is to turn El Paso into a haven for baseball players and softball players. I want it to be a destination that people come to, that they spend their off seasons at, that they teach younger players here. I love that what we're doing. On my end, what Cameron Haskins is doing with his hitters. One of our college prep coaches, Robbie, he's fantastic with his infielders. What Joe Beimel and Brent Dean are doing, what we're doing on our softball side. I want it to be the first step, because it's one thing to learn from a couple of pros, but to also see professional athletes, current professional athletes training in front of you and seeing what kind of hard work they put in
Right.
is something that'll be life-changing for some of these guys. Because some kids think, they think they're working hard and you're going to get the job done. I'm like, you have to give them a little bit of a reality check. My kids, you haven't even started yet. The work to actually attain that next level status it's difficult, and it's time consuming. But if you do it right, it is a lot of fun. And I made sure I never left the baseball field not having a good time.
Right.
It wasn't worth playing if it wasn't fun. So I think it's important that the kids still keep in mind that this is a game and it is fun, but it does require a lot of hard work. And then whatever you're doing, someone there's on another side of the town, it might be outworking you. And, you just got to push that much harder to be that much better so you can turn that many more heads. Because it's all about one thing, getting that education. And I want them to have that opportunity. And I want them to have the opportunity to learn from the very best.
That's awesome, man. I hate to say it, but I feel like, dang, I wish something like this was around when I was younger. But I'm just grateful that it is around now. So it could possibly be something for someone's son or daughter, especially my son. Hopefully, he'll get into baseball and he'll be able to attend training facilities there when he's older and things like that. It's really exciting for me to have something like that here in El Paso.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's anything ever I can help out with, please let me know.
Oh, just anything, like, especially anything that even just a retweet, because we are a nonprofit, the El Paso Border Youth Athletic Association. And I think a lot of people aren't aware of that it is a nonprofit completely dedicated to education. And my job is to handle the baseball side while giving people a great, broader knowledge of the college recruiting process, because it can be very daunting. It can be an ugly process. And I want people to learn from all the mistakes that I made. And I made a ton of them, especially through the college recruiting process. I ended up signing at UCLA with 2 weeks left of my senior year. And it wasn't that I wasn't sought after. It was I didn't know what was the right decision. Was I going to go to USC or LMU? I had options, but it was such a difficult process. And luckily, I think I made the right choice. I loved playing for UCLA. And it was a life-changing experience for me. And I want to put as many life-changing experiences in front of these kids while navigating the kind of ugliness that can be involved with college recruiting.
Well, Cody, thank you so much. I appreciate everything you've done for El Paso, especially staying here in El Paso and just helping out the kids, man. I mean, I think that's the most important thing as well.
I appreciate that. No, I love this city. I love everyone in this city, and it's honestly, it's an honor to work for the El Paso Border Youth Athletic Association. I truly believe in the goals and the initiatives. We're going to change a lot of lives, and that's what's really exciting about it. I mean, there's a couple of kids who 2 years ago would never had an opportunity to go and play baseball in college, and I think we have a ton in our stable right now who are not going to be finished playing at 18 years old, and that's really, really, anytime you play after the age of 18, that's an accomplishment. It just is. And I'm really, really excited to give some of these guys that opportunity, because they deserve it. They're great kids. They come from wonderful families, and they just haven't had the opportunities that I was lucky enough to grow up with. I grew up in Los Angeles, which is a baseball hotbed, you know, and unfortunately playing baseball, it costs a lot of money. It really does. Tournaments aren't cheap. Training isn't cheap. That's why we try to make it as affordable as we possibly can at the base. And we try to raise money and scholarship athletes into our programs. It's really, really special, everything that we do with this. Our college prep program is going great right now, and I'm really, really having a great time running the clinics. You know, I'm running, you know, 3, 4 clinics, 5 clinics a weekend with these guys, getting a lot of one-on-one time. They get in the classroom, and it's the growth of some of these players are. If I had before and after videos for you, it would be mind-blowing to you to see what these guys really are capable of, and they didn't even know. So it's really, really, I couldn't be more passionate about everything we're doing here, and it's exciting.
That's awesome. I can't thank you enough, Cody, just for joining us. And again, thank you so much for giving back to the El Paso community and staying here and helping the youth out here. Is there anything else you'd like to say or add before we end today?
No, if anyone could check out our website, borderyouth.org. That would be extremely helpful. Check us out on all our social medias, including mine. If you just follow me at Decker6 on Twitter, I retweet nonstop everything that's happening in El Paso and the base, giving you updates. You can follow me on Instagram, Anti-Hero Baseball. I post a lot of videos of some of our young student athletes and what we're doing, and so people can actually see some of the progress. Make sure you follow us at Base EP. The Base EP, it shows everything that's going on with El Paso Border Youth Athletic Association. And thank you so much for asking me the questions about it.
No, thank you so much for being on. I will include all your information down below in the description. Please follow all their social medias. And again, Cody, thank you so much for joining me today.
Anytime. This was an absolute pleasure. Thank you, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you.